Welcome everybody to a first-person video of definitely my own stream. As you can see from the mechanics, this is definitely commentator level. Oh wait, what? We're watching Serral. This is from earlier today. Serral did a bit of a stream. He's been streaming a lot, guys. Make sure you go to check out twitch.tv/Serral and go sub to his stream, and you can watch these videos yourself. But we're going to be doing a little first-person cast and just appreciating the immense skill. Dizziness warning, this is the first-person view of one of the fastest players in the world. He is going to be jumping around a lot and doing things very fast. So, I hope you guys are all right and don't get no seizures or nothing, because it's going to be kind of intense.
When I used to do this, he already did this couple times on my stream as well, but he hasn't been doing it lately.
He hasn't been doing it lately. I love Serral's accent. Finnish accents are one of my favorite things. What's great is I think of the Serral accent as the Finnish accent, but it's really not.
I'm not sure how to approach it.
There are actually so many accents in Finland, and they all sound
Oops, he did make a zealot.
Absolutely insane. Oh, Mana's doing the zealot pressure. Oh, okay. I love this. MaxPax does this a lot as well. Very cute, very cute. Now, 4 Zerglings can beat a Zealot because he's already taken a hit. It's a bad start. So he wants to wait for the Queen to come out, especially now the Adept's here. This is a 2-gate opening. Oh, good Evo to block. Good Evo to block. Now, the Queen on her own can't really do too well here. He's just going to take the Zealot out as quickly as possible. I would have liked to see a stutter step on that Queen. Yeah, and those Adepts doing pretty well. Uh-oh.
Well, this wasn't it.
Uh-oh. Oh, the Queen's actually... Oh, he kept her alive. Great micro. Great micro. 15 hit points. If he could get that Queen... Oh, that Adept, that would have been great. You notice he moves that Queen forward. There's a pylon in his natural. He's getting one base. That's a shield battery. He's doing the Haas build.
Need to make a spine.
Guys, he blocked the natural. It's the Haas build. It's the Haas build. It's the shield battery.
The worst game of the day.
This is the build that Haas was doing in 2017 in one of my cheese downs. I do this sometimes. I haven't won a game with it in a long time, but... Actually, no. I won a game the other month with it. It's so that you just one base all in. He's going to build a gateway there and just keep warping in Adepts. And whenever he gets in trouble, he just shades back to the batteries. And then he'll warp in Stalkers. No, he's actually doing it as a harassment. Oh, he's going Nexus behind it. So it's an expansion version. Oh my god, of Mana. Okay, so Mana is doing an expansion version of the build. This is super cute. Why does Serral not have Ling Speed yet? What is this strange build order that Serral has done in this game?
It wasn't for the stream.
It wasn't a 12 pool, was it? Sorry, guys. I want to go back. What happened? How is the game like this? I need to check the opening. I'm sorry, guys. We were doing dumb jokes at the start, not paying attention. I need to double check quickly. What the hell happened at the start of this game? It was hatch gas pool, but then he just doesn't put on gas, right? Because he's doing this standard greedy... Why does he not go Ling Speed? He puts 3 guys on gas straight away. Does he forget Ling Speed?
Up there, and I forgot my Ling Speed.
Oh, he forgot his Ling Speed! Wait, guys, check this out. He hits 100 gas here at 2 minutes 14. That's when he's meant to start it. 2 minutes 14?
Need to make a spine.
And then he only actually starts it almost a minute later. Oh, no.
He's cannoning up
oh
there.
No! Oh man!
Need to make a spine.
Oh my god! This is the danger of watching the first-person view of one of the best players in the world, guys. It is going to be a little bit blazing fast.
He's not ready ever, but.
Oh man! So not having Ling Speed makes this so hard. So let's fast forward to where we were now. Okay, we'll fast forward. Here we go. So look at this mass Zealot Adept attack. There's a Nexus behind it as well. I don't think you can defend this. I don't know. The Spine's very good. Spine has 2 armor, and Zealots have 2 attacks. They do 4 less damage, a volley to it. And, oh man. Oh no, bad Adept Shade. Okay, Mana maybe getting a little antsy, but Adepts fighting Zerglings is good. Those Queens are off creep. Serral's frantically trying to get those Queens off creep. Oh my god, this is a crazy build from Mana. Oh, he gets the body block. Okay.
I need the Ling Speed here.
I need the Ling Speed here. Yes, you do. He needs to get the surround on those Adepts, man. Fighting Zealots is really bad with Zerglings. Even slow Zealots are absolute slayers of Zerglings. There's even a Sentry. Oh, he's going to force field the Queen. Look at the force field. Watch this force field. She can't escape. No, she doesn't even need to use it.
I guess it worked out. Actually not sure how to play that. I actually see the replay. I'm not actually sure how to play this, but that was a really bad fight.
Wait. Oh, it didn't finish loading his MMR because he loaded the replay. I'm like, okay, that's why. I was like, as if he's playing a
I cannot sure
5.5.
how to play against this double gate opener still.
So the
I
difference...
mean, I should just make links probably. I still droned up a bit.
Still drawn up a bit. So, basically... So what's really interesting here, guys, right, is he actually just went 14 pylon. Now, when I do this build, like I said, it's a complete all-in. There's no nexus behind it.
I don't think the gateway makes
And I would go 12 pylon, 13 gate to get the cybercore out as fast, because I want to be like adepts in your face from the start. But this is a cool version where, because you send a probe across early, you block the hatch and you make their positioning more awkward. I much prefer this way of executing it from mana, because if you're getting in there early on, getting in between their bases with a gateway there, because then you can choose to go to the main or go to the third, and they've got to kind of come down into the open and fight you. That is absolutely insane. Great cheese from Mana, and shout out to him for doing that. So do we fight Mana again? Because I heard there was a Mana game. I didn't realize there was multiple. So this is, okay, Mana game round 2 here on the Serral stream. All right. And he's just cheesed Serral out. Let's see what Serral can do there. That gif is kind of funny where it's just like... So we're watching Serral's first-person view versus Mana. Oh my lord, the flashing is kind of crazy, isn't it? Oh my god, can we skip the early game? All right, guys, I'm going to skip the early game so we avoid seizures, because he does way too much spamming at the start. He's gone hatch first. We're skipping. He does too much spamming. Hatch gas pool. He's seen a normal opening from his opponent. God, Serral's so fast. He's always cycling through the camera location. So what he's doing there, guys, is he's going... I believe he uses the standard hotkey setup, F1, F2, F3, F4, F1, F2, F3, F4, F5. He might, and he actually does that so fast. Let's actually analyze that cycle. So when he does that little cycle, we're going to try and identify that exact moment. That's it, 2309. So we're going to slow it down. Check this out, guys. Let's look at the mechanics of a god and see what he does, okay? He's about to do it. He looks at the Overlord and then he's going to cycle through. So, he's going to cycle in a second, guys. He moves the Overlord to scout. Already, we've missed half of it. God damn. So he goes third base, main base, natural base, third base, main base, fourth base, main base, fourth base, fifth base, sixth base, seventh base. Guys, he's using 8 camera locations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At least 7 camera locations. I'm not sure if he's using F1 to F7 there, but he even jumped to these 3 bases up the top as well as the 4 in the bottom. That tells us that Serral is actually using at least 7 camera locations from the speed that he did that. And he just jumps back to his... That's cool. A lot of pro gamers don't use more than 4 or 5. I use 6. I use 5 for bases and 1 rally point. So let's go back to normal speed now and see what happens. So you can also see his control groups over here, which is really cool as well. So notice hatcheries on number 1, main army number 2, secondary army number 4, and scouting unit number 3. Now, obviously, number 3 will become like muters or spellcasters or something like that at some point. So I'm pretty sure it's kind of like his... Oh, actually, it's his creep. It's his queen hotkey. That's interesting. Now, your queens are a very important unit. So I think he might swap that queen hotkey on number 3 out for something else a bit later. We'll see how he adjusts these keys based on the situation he's in. What you find with these new generation of players, their brains are very plastic. The way their mechanical hotkey setups and things work, it's very much, it's not just about kind of like, oh, I always do this. It's they swap. They swap based on the situation. It's more of like, in this situation, I use for this for this, this for this, and this I use it for that, and so on. Now you'll notice he split his queens up. That's because he has 2 queens at the front. Number 3 is his creep queens, guys. So you see number 3 is creep queens. Number 5 is the queen in the main. Now that's probably going to be the injecting queen hotkey, I would imagine. But it could just be 2 separate defensive keys so that he can micro against oracles and void rays well. Serral's mouse is incredibly accurate. Incredibly accurate. You'll notice it moves so fast, you barely even get to register just how quick it is. And he knows exactly where his camera locations are going to put him. So before his finger is even hitting the button on the camera location, his mouse is already moving to where it's going to need to be on the screen before he gets there. You could see there the way he spreads creep, very manual. A lot of people always ask, how do I spread creep? How do I spread creep? I need a method. All he's doing is box, C-click, or whatever his hotkey is. Really basic. There's nothing special there. It's just about notice that he does tend to go from one side of the creep to the other. Logic says, I swear he hotkeys tumors. He absolutely does not. I remember Scarlett went deep on analyzing control grouping active tumors and even having a moving camera location that she would adjust to where the front of the creep was. And she just found that at the end of it, none of it, there was too much maintenance in setting it up, and the creep where it is moves too often, that it was just better to do it manual. Great lings there to intercept. Now there's an Oracle on the high ground. Got to watch out for that. It's trying to roast the Zerglings. The drones are being pulled to the queens. Oracle gets 1 kill. I think that's totally fine though. Even though that adept micro is really well done, dude. Very well done. Now it looks like should take out all those adepts. Oh, 1 gets out.
Something there and kind of bad for me.
Kind of bad for me, he says. I think that was acceptable. It was only 4 adepts and 1 Oracle. But he did lose a lot of mining time and a couple of drones, a bunch of Zerglings. So it wasn't the perfect trade. Oracle comes in, grabs another drone. He sees the 3rd base. Now that's a 5-minute 3rd base, guys. This is a rather late 3rd. So he's either gone 2 Stargate Void Rate before the 3rd base, or he might be going Glaive Adepts, or he might be transitioning ground very quickly. There's a few different ways it can happen here. But if I was Serral, I'd want to be very active with my Zerglings, saying, yeah, I know you built 4 Adepts and your Oracle dived. You still should have had your 3rd down earlier than this. So what is going on? Chat says his mouse sensitivity must be pretty high in order to move that fast. I would imagine it's about 800 DPI, guys. He moves his mouse a lot. Definitely, if you check his channel or if someone knows, let us know, guys. But I'm pretty sure it would be about 800 DPI. That's what I use. That's what most pros use. A few use 1,000, but usually it's around 800 to 1,000. It's very rarely higher than that. Occasionally you get a pro who uses 400. But that's usually more common in FPS than RTS. RTS, you've just got so much movement you've got to do with it, so many actions. You don't want it to be too arduous just to kind of get that in. That's good. So he's going to get the Adept kill and get in for a scout. That's very important. And it is 3 Stargate Phoenix.
Okay.
Oh my god, he already has 8 queens, but he's quickly trying to add spores, pull back his queens to a safe location. He needs to make sure his queens don't die. He should be building a spore in between his bases right now. And he needs to keep massing queens, and he makes sure his queens don't die. If they die, he's in trouble. He's in big trouble.
I'm not sure how scared I should be of the Phoenix.
People saying 800 is very low. For pro players, it's not. It's very standard. Because there's been many years of gaming hardware and marketing high DPIs as if it's a good thing, even though all it does is move your mouse quickly, which means less accuracy. Starts skipping pixels as well. Oh no. This is what I was saying. Oh, he's got 1 spore. Tries to drop a transfuse. 1 queen's down. 2 queens down. Uh-oh, this is getting bad. He's got to make sure. Oh, he's killing the Void Rays. He's killed some Void Rays. Good transfuses, good transfuses. I'm surprised he hasn't shuffled the spore forward. Wow. Great judgment on that fight. You see, I would have cowered behind the spore crawler, but Serral knew he could take that fight. He pulled every queen. Now, you'll notice, guys, he doesn't have injecting queens right now. Every single queen has gone on number 5 because his injecting queens are his fighting queens, are all of his queens. He's massing queen production. He does not care. What he's doing is when a queen pops, he injects, and then he adds it to his queen hotkey and brings it back out. But right after taking a great fight, he gets cocky, he fucks up, moves into the open, and he absolutely shits on it. He throws away his queen lead, which means those 10 queens that could have gathered energy, gained transfuse, and gained value, he loses that control. Now the Phoenix are killing overlords and drones. This is a big mistake from Serral. And this is why I was saying you want connecting spores between the bases. It's not about having 3 spores at each base. If you go heavy queen like he did, it's more important to have a spore everywhere. And he went and fought where there was no spore crawler backing him up, nothing like that. I do think that was a problem from him. And he's trying to obviously get 3 spores at each base, which will do something. He's got to deny this 4th. He can't let all those workers mine, but cannon battery is up. Oh, this is really bad for Serral now. 4th base gets up for mana. He's lost all of his anti-air. He lands a nice fungal, but remember, that only does 30 damage. The main advantage of fungal is it holds the Phoenix in place a little bit. One more. He wants to throw another, but it doesn't get the big money hit. Infestors are a good in-between answer to Void Rays and Phoenix. And of course, they gather energy for the late game. Not to mention, Microbial Shroud is actually a pretty good usage with Queens against any sort of carrier swap, which Mana will go for. And he actually does deal with that really well.
I'm not sure if I said that.
You'll notice he waited for pathogen glands before queuing up those Phoenix. And he actually got out like, what, eight Infestors? Maybe 9? He's got 10 Infestors right now, and 1 or 2 died, so yeah. Dude, it's just non-stop Void Ray Phoenix fam. Mana is such a Chad gamer, guys. He's like, I'll just make the basic ones and I'll fucking attack him with you. Fucking attack you with a man. Come and fight me, dickhead. Oh, that Void Ray gets 1 Infestor, almost gets a second. Oh, this is a bit aggro, though. Loses 2 Void Rays for 1 Infestor. Good trade for Serral there, but Serral's economy is still not amazing. Doesn't have the gas up on his 5th yet, but now that he's got a stack of Infestors, and he's got Queens, this is a good surviving composition. He's just got to be careful that he keeps track of what Mana's doing, because if Mana swaps back into ground, he's got to make units for that. He's got to actually, because Queenling is really bad versus a big Zealot Archon swap. Infestors can help with Fungal, of course, but you still need some damage output, some Roach Ravager or some Hydras or something like that, some Banelings maybe. So he's got some scouting in the main. He's got to go look at that. You got to look at your scouting, Serral. I'm pretty sure it's Skytoss, right? With how much Void Ray Phoenix, but you never know when a Protoss will swap to ground. So he's not looking at his scouting. He wants to catch the Void Rays. I think he has Neural. That's why he's running around burrowed, because he wants the Void Rays to come in. He sees 5 Stargates and a Fleet Beacon. He confirms it's pure Skytoss. He's doing good.
Oh, +2. My hotkeys are completely messed up.
A mechanics question. When you morph lava to eggs, can you simply press shift add to hotkey, or do you left click the eggs? You need to control left click the eggs first, because otherwise the lava that didn't get spent, any leftover lava, will also get added to your control group. And those could become drones or overlords. So you obviously don't want drones and overlords getting added to your group. Thank you, Logic and the other, and Nutcase and stuff, for explaining that mechanic as well. Yeah, you've always got to control click the eggs. I wasn't sure if you could add straight away. You technically could, but you should never do it because it's a terrible habit. If you do it straight away, you'll accidentally do it when you have a bunch of lava left over that you didn't have money for or you were supply blocked, and then you end up with drones and overlords in your army. So you just want to make a habit. Always do it the same way. Always control click the eggs. And you'll get used to doing it very fast. It doesn't, like, you know, it takes a little bit of mouse accuracy, but StarCraft is a sport, you know. StarCraft, I always, whenever people are like, but I don't have mouse accuracy, pig. For me, I'm always like, it's kind of like going to the gym and complaining that you don't have muscles, so you can't like lift the weight.
Maybe.
It's like, maybe play Civilization. You know, if you're obsessed with improving, I mean, you don't have to be fast to play StarCraft, but like, if you're like, I really want to get better, but I also want to put 0 effort into getting faster or better at clicking on things or anything like that, it's like, it's always hard to give advice to those sort of players, because I'm like, I don't know, just 1 base cheese every game, or only make battle cruises or carrier Skytoss. Like, just make shit that doesn't take APM or many actions, basically, right? So, guys, you'll notice Serral's playing my counter to Skytoss, Sling Bane, that I've been teaching in Bronze to Jam. This is very life-affirming. He took a long time to get to it because he was under so much pressure from mass Void Ray Phoenix. But now that he's got there, what's he done? Mass Ling Bane! Doing some big Ling Bane run-bys. Now, this is just like some big Ling Bane run-bys. What's really cool is the core of his army is still just Mass, Queen, Infesta. So he can Neural our units, that'll be great. Neuraling Archons will be great. But basically, he's just going to A-move and use Microbial Shroud and maybe drop some Fungals on the enemy units. This is a really cool way of playing. What I don't like about this style is it's really hard to force your opponent to fight you because your army's so immobile. But he's adding Ultras on the ground that'll help clear up the enemy ground army. You spam transfuses on those Ultras and they're like super hard for the opponent to kill. So he's getting like his really good upgrades. He's even adding range upgrades for the Queens. And he will try to push his creep forward and just try to get the opponent to fight him in the open. And the way Protoss normally wants to deal with this Queen Infestor army is Disruptors. Really good. You clump up 2 Disruptor shots and they'll one-shot a big pack of Queens. Transfuse can't do it if they both explode at the same time. And some Immortals to get rid of the Ultras. So Mana needs to get Robotech and get out at like 6, maybe 8 Immortals. probably 6 immortals for the ultras and maybe 6 disruptors behind that, and then you can pick away at it. HOTS is Heart of the Swarm, so that was the second expansion of StarCraft 2. Wings of Liberty came out in 2010, Heart of the Swarm 2013, and Legacy of the Void end of 2015. You can neural the disruptor. You can. Hard to pull off without getting a big ball in the middle of your army. But you'll notice that Mana's actually behind on the tech to counter this. He's only got Archons. You see, he's got Robos finishing right there. They're not ready. So Serral, seeing that, knows there's no Immortal Disruptor coming in. He knows he's got this in the bag. He should be trying to chain fungal over the interceptors. Notice he's fungling the carriers so they can't run away. Oh, that's actually very cool. He might be a bit far forward with his infestors. Notice he pulled the ultras back for some transfuses. He clicks the Baneling on the Nexus to complete the kill. And now he just targets those carriers that he neuroparasited. Oh, very well done. Kills the 4th, kills the 5th. He's building probably just Zerglings to deal with the Zealot run-bys, I would imagine. But he's lost so few units on the front, he doesn't have much supply. So as he loses drones, he'll get a bit more supply to deal with that. Ooh, okay. The High Templar here. Some storms across that could be good. He's trying to feedback it. I actually think you just want to maybe blanket it in storms. Oh, did he just... Watch. Instant rewind. Instant rewind. He just neural the High Templar. But unfortunately, he got a low energy one, so it only had one feedback. So he took a High Templar, and he feedbacked one of the enemy High Templar. Look at that Microbial Shroud, dude. All the interceptors are dying, but the Zealot Archon, he's only got 2 ultras, and that ultra on the left is trapped inside the Queen, so it's not helping clear the Zealot Archon. So Mana actually swapped into a good ground army, and there's only 1 ultra helping to fight it. Those Zealots do not have their damage reduced by Microbial Shroud. Unfortunately, though, for Mana, the Infestors could move under the Queens. They neuraled a bunch of the Archons and Zealots, and that is a very cool way of winning a fight. Queen Infestor Ultra. What a beautiful style. That was very cool. Hang on, if you neuraled 2 High Templar, can you just steal it? Can you morph an Archon? I don't think you'd be able to morph an Archon. Just like you can't... Did you guys know if you neural a Medevac, a Warp Prism, or an Overlord, if you try to neural that and it has units in it, you can't do it. Yeah. Colossus says, no, it's the same as you can't neural lava. You actually can neural lava, right? But it dies. Or is that an egg? Oh, you can't neural lava, but you can neural an egg and it kills the egg. I think it was TLO who was explaining that like the one time you'd want to do this is if you know your opponent's building ultras in a ZVZ, you could neural the eggs to stop them ultras from popping. Obviously, they get most of the money refunded, but if you're like, I think these are about to pop, you fucking neural them. and then neural one-shots the egg. Just throws a tentacle in there and just kills the ultra fetus, apparently. That was really cool, guys. Queen Ultra Infestor. That's a pretty lit style. And remember, that existed as a timing for Serral because... That existed because there was so much Phoenix Void Ray that the carrier transition was slow, and then there was very little ground support. And when there was no Robos. That's why that timing existed. Remember, if there's enough Immortals up front, they can kill the Ultras a bit too quickly. And if there's some Disruptors to land on the Queens and also to keep the Infestors back, things can go the other way. So that's actually really interesting to see how that army works very well if the Protoss doesn't have Robotech. Super sick play by Serral.